On January 7th, 2023, we embarked from Miami on a cruise around the world on board the Regent 7 Seas Mariner. We bypassed the Cayman Islands, and after a brief stop in Cartagena, Colombia, we went on to the Panama Canal. Completed in 1914, it's still an engineering marvel. A new set of locks was opened in 2016, which, along with the original locks, greatly increased the canal's traffic capacity. When it first opened in 1914, about 1,000 ships transited the Panama Canal. It now has an annual transit of over 14,000 vessels. After a brief stop for supplies in Lima, we sailed into the South Pacific to the intriguing Easter Island, where we visited the mysterious Moai. We continued west to French Polynesia and the beautiful and exotic island of Bora Bora, where we enjoyed an overnight romantic escape at the Conrad Bora Bora Nui Hotel.
We moved on to Fiji, where on the northwest coast of the island, we enjoyed the therapeutic pleasures of a Fijian natural thermal mud bath.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath, long about a Saturday night. Yeah, rubbed up, just relaxing in the tub, thinking everything was alright. Well, I stepped out the tub, put my feet on the floor, I wrapped the towel around me and I opened the door, and then a splish splash, I jumped back in the bath. Well, how was I to know there was a party going on? There was a splishing and a splash, reeling with the feeling, moving and a grooving, rocking and a rolling. Yeah!
Oh, I think I need a nice, easy boat ride to calm down. Pacific island was Vanuatu. In the capital of Port Vila, we visited the cultural center with the very interesting, informative, talented, and well-dressed cultural interpreter.
Indonesia is the largest country in the world, made up entirely of islands. It straddles Oceania and Southeast Asia. it's the world's fourth most populous country and the world's most populous Muslim majority country. On the island of Bali, we had the unique opportunity to leave the ship for an overland adventure with our shipmates and new friends, Jean, Mark, and Ralph. With them as our guides, we enjoyed a fabulous and whirlwind 36-hour adventure. For 23 years, Mark, an oncologist, had taught for a couple of weeks each year in the medical school in Jakarta. He and Jean know the country, the people, and the culture very well, and especially so Bali. Our first stop was a Balinese batik factory. The art of batik making has been around for centuries and has been an important part of Balinese culture. The motifs of Bali batik fabric are inspired by nature and are often based on flowers, twining plants and leaves, birds, butterflies, and geometric shapes. Batik tulis, which literally means written in Indonesian, preserves the authentic charm of a hand-drawn fabric. The first step in making Bali batik fabric is to design the pattern. The design is usually drawn on the fabric using a pencil or a pen. It can be simple or intricate, depending on the desired outcome. Once the design is complete, the next step is to apply the wax. The wax is applied to the areas of the fabric that are not going to be dyed. This is done using a tool called a canting, or a stamp. The wax acts to prevent the dye from penetrating the fabric. After the wax has been applied, the fabric is dyed. The dye penetrates the areas of the fabric that are not covered in wax. The fabric is then rinsed and dried, and then the wax is removed. This is done by boiling the fabric in water, which melts the wax and reveals the pattern underneath. The process of applying wax, dyeing the fabric, and removing the wax is repeated until the desired final pattern is achieved, and this can take several rounds of waxing and dyeing. The process of creating Bali batik fabric is incredibly detailed and time-consuming, but the result is both beautiful and dramatic.
And then it was time for lunch at a beautiful outdoor restaurant. Bebek Tepi Sawak is a famous Balinese restaurant known for its delicious duck menu. The restaurant is set in the middle of a rice field, and you dine inside a cozy hut. Everything was truly delicious.
With fish,
Okay.
and satay ayam is with chicken.
Chicken,
So
I
we
didn't
got
know you
and
said
this is
ayam.
they make this satay on the lemongrass spear.
Well, why don't you serve it? Spread
There
it
you
around.
go.
There you go.
Satay lilit.
Okay.
Who else is crispy duck? Crispy.
Yeah.
And I will share.
Crispy duck.
Wow. Wow. Yes. Oh wow, look at that.
It's worth getting it just for the presentation. Is so fun,
That
right?
is amazing. Oh, the
Okay.
charred bamboo.
Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Then a short drive with our wonderful driver, Booty, who brought us to the gorgeous Sanur residence. a very boutique accommodation on Bali's southeast coast. It consists of 3 private villas, surrounded by rice fields and just a short walk to the beach. We shared the center villa and were treated like royalty. Infinity pool? Oh my gosh. But once we were settled, it was on to a whole new experience. We dressed appropriately and were off to participate in a Balinese Hindu temple ceremony.
Yes, I like that. That is very, very nice.
We were just there in November. We love Turkey.
Marianne.
Put it down. Yes, and then put your hand like this. Okay, then put your hand. Yes, put the water on your hand also, and then you rub it to cleansing your hand. Rub, yeah, it's it. Your hand. Okay.
Om Namo Devadishanaya Arvoya Pekvaya Padma Pramapataya Ardona Eswarya Namo Om Pukulam Udayangara Pukulam Udayangara.
And when we got back to the villa, it was time for dinner. The living room had been cleared and a table set for us on the outside patio. Our chef had prepared a delicious Balinese meal, and we were wined, dined, and entertained to perfection. Oh, and look at the mango and all that. The way they line up the fruit. Beautiful. Then, after that tasty breakfast, the villa brought in a spa team and we all enjoyed relaxing massages and facials. Being quite mellow, we decided then to get some exercise in the pool. exercising our arms, that is. And then, of course, we were ready for lunch.
That was a movie, I think.
Dick, are you ready,
Jewel,
sweetie?
whatever it was. Jewel of India. Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. Do it.
Do it, baby.
And Jean, this is called
Nasi Jingu.
Nasi Jingu.
It's a little gooey, so that's why they call it goo. That's awesome.
And look, buried in there.
Oh, look, it's little treasures everywhere. Oh,
That's exactly what it is, Marianne. And here, this is an Indonesian corn
Well,
fritter.
open it so I
Oh.
can see.
oh,
Yeah, get all the presents out.
oh, there are presents inside. Oh my gosh, there's something.
Divider from the rice.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Bye-bye.
They say all good things must come to an end, but I'm sure the great memories of our stay at Sanur will remain with us forever. Well, Borneo is the third largest island in the world. Its landmass is occupied by 3 countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, and the tiny country of Brunei. Our next port of call was the oil-rich Islamic Sultanate of Brunei. In the capital, we began by visiting the opulent Jame' Asir Hassanil Bolkiah Mosque, which is named after Hassanil Bolkiah, the 29th and current Sultan of Brunei. It was completed in 1994 to celebrate the Sultan's 48th birthday. This stunning mosque can accommodate up to 5,000 worshippers. So who is the Sultan of Brunei? Hassanil Bolkiah is one of the few absolute monarchs in the world, and one of the world's wealthiest individuals, with an estimated net worth in excess of $30 billion. And yes, that is a 24-karat gold-plated Rolls-Royce, with a custom-made rumble seat for the Sultan and his wife. So we then went to visit the Royal Regalia Museum. Exhibits here include the artifacts that have been used in royal ceremonies in Brunei. Perhaps the largest and most outstanding exhibits are the huge hand-drawn golden chariots that were used in the Sultan's 1968 coronation. From the Regalia Museum, we went to visit Kampung Ayer, a traditional settlement in Brunei's capital that is the largest water village in the world. It comprises entire neighborhoods, including homes, schools, mosques, and even a fire station. It's built on stilts above the Brunei River and connected by a series of boardwalks. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Sultan also has a bit of waterfront property.
Money, 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 get a little money, 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 and a buck on a bound, that clinking, clanking, clunking sound is all that makes the world go round. It makes the world go round.
As we sailed into the heart of Southeast Asia, we made our first stop in the People's Republic of China, the bustling city of Hong Kong. Our brief stop only allowed time to see the iconic skyline of this beautiful city. First, taking the funicular peak tram to the top of Victoria Peak, and then by sampan on the busy Hong Kong harbor. And then from Hong Kong, we sailed north to visit the other China, the Republic of China, Taiwan. Our first stop was the port city of Keelung, very near the capital of Taipei. We visited the beautiful Shifen waterfall, which is surrounded by a very scenic park. And then, in the nearby town of Shifen, we participated in launching sky lanterns from the very busy and active railroad tracks that run right through the center of town. You paint your wish in a panel of the lantern and let it fly from the tracks. By the way, I didn't see anyone write, "I hope the train doesn't hit me."
Our next stop in Taiwan was the city of Keelung, where we had a very enthusiastic and darling greeting committee. It was here that we visited the very impressive Fo Guangshan Buddha Museum, which strives to present Buddhism through arts and culture, and which houses the sacred relic of a tooth of the Buddha. Buddhism isn't the only Eastern religion. On Lotus Lake in Taiwan, we visited the spring and autumn pavilions, which are part of a Taoist temple complex. And then across the street is the Chi Ming Palace Temple, a reconstruction of a 17th century Confucian temple. We then visited the Kaohsiung City Temple of Confucius, where there was a lovely wedding photo session in progress. Ah, the eternal wisdom.
Dick, you are so smart.
We then moved on to Vietnam, and our first stop was in Hanoi.
Next on our tour was the impressive tomb of Ho Chi Minh. It was inspired by the Lenin Mausoleum in Moscow, and like Lenin, the embalmed body of the Vietnamese leader is on public display inside. Behind the mausoleum, we toured Ho Chi Minh's modest home.
The next day, we took a short cruise on Ha Long Bay with its many beautiful islands.
And then we boarded small canoes for a leisurely paddle along one of the Mekong's small tributaries. We enjoyed Vietnam and its very friendly people, but then it was time to move on an exciting overland excursion to Cambodia and Angkor Wat. Off to Angkor Wat.
Our next stop, Singapore.
8 years ago, in 2015, Dick and I traveled to New Zealand, and on the South Island, we took an overnight cruise on a small yacht on Doubtful Sound. Our fellow passengers were the Yo family of Singapore. By the end of our cruise, we were good friends. We've stayed in touch over the years, and in 2020, we tried to visit the Yos in Singapore, but the pandemic cut our trip short. On this 2023 World Cruise, we made it, and then Ujil and Eunice hosted us on a wonderful 2-day tour of their home country. Spectacular Singapore.
If only you were here, you'd wash away my tears. The sun will shine once again. You'll be mine, all mine. But in reality, you and I.
And so, a toast to our good friends, the Yos, with a Singapore sling, of course.
We sailed on to Malaysia and its capital of Kuala Lumpur. Our first stop was a short visit to the Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Mosque, which is known for its stunning blue and silver dome and the tallest group of minarets in the world. Our next stop was the National Palace, which is the official residence of the monarch of Malaysia. And finally, in downtown Kuala Lumpur, we visited the iconic Petronas Towers. From 1998 to 2004, these twin towers were the tallest buildings in the world, and they remain the world's tallest twin skyscrapers.
Well, after a relaxing 2 days in Phuket, we sailed west, across the Bay of Bengal, and on to Sri Lanka, off the southeast coast of India, where we encountered a charming local entrepreneur.
King Cobra. No poison. No poison. Video, music. Video.
And then it was time to move on to the subcontinent, India. Our first port of call was the city of Mormugao in the Indian state of Goa. Here we visited two significant religious sites. First, the Basilica of Bom Jesus. This Catholic church is a pilgrimage site because it houses the mortal remains of St. Francis Xavier. From the Basilica, we moved on to the Shanta Durga Temple, an impressive private Hindu temple complex which belongs to the god Saraswat Brahmins, who are among India's highest caste.
From Goa, we moved on to Mumbai, also known as Bombay, which is India's largest city, with a population of over 12.5 million people. We quickly got a sense of the population density as we explored the Crawford Market. Built in 1869, this structure was the first building in India to be lit by electricity in 1882.
Garlic, the two guys were sitting in there peeling garlic.
Our next stop was the 18th century Hindu Babulnath Temple, which has become surrounded by the growing city and is almost hidden behind a very unimposing entrance.
Certain flowers that three gods who do the three main functions. Ganesha is the son of Lord Shiva. So we are going to a Shiva temple. He is the removal of all obstacles, the god of prosperity and good luck. So whenever we start anything auspicious in India, we first pray to Lord Ganesh. That's the last spot that we sold. And
We ended our visit to Mumbai with a tour of the Katachi Wadi village. This quaint neighborhood was founded in the late 18th century, and the houses here generally are of the old Portuguese style. During our visit to Katachi Wadi, we visited the home and studio of renowned Indian fashion designer James Ferrieri, who proudly showed us his very eclectic and charming home.
My father and mother. You know, I spent 50 years of my life trying to be like my mother, and I wanted to be just like my dad.
Then, in James's studio, our friend Jean got fitted for one of his beautiful saris.
okay, this will be from the right, coming down to the left. Gujra. And normally now, if this end of the sari is more decorative, we try and show it in the hip rather than just holding it.
And then it was time to leave India and sail across the Arabian Sea and on to the Middle East, to the Sultanate of Oman and its capital city, Muscat. Along with our friends Jean, Mark, and Ralph, we decided to branch out on our own and spend the day at the ultra-luxurious Al Bustan Palace Hotel. This hotel is said to be situated on the most beautiful stretch of beach in the vicinity of the capital city. So, where does the Sultan live, you might ask? Well, our driver took us there to see his lovely palace and beachfront, complete with several brightly colored anti-aircraft guns. The Al Bustan looked a bit more welcoming.
Sailing northwest, we passed through the Straits of Hormuz and into the Persian Gulf.
Baby, come to Dubai.
Our next stop was the magnificent city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Along the coastline, the city has built a group of artificial islands, the Palm Islands. Once again, with our three friends, we left the Mariner for an overnight stay at the beautiful new Marriott Resort, Palm Jumeirah.
Now let's go out and have Marianne show us the balcony.
The Dubai skyline is nothing less than spectacular. It's a city of skyscrapers, including the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, with a height of 2,722 feet, just over half a mile. But back at the Marriott, it was time for some refreshments, and we were treated to many at the M Club.
Come to Dubai.
And then the next day, before we had to return to the ship, we had a little time to enjoy the beach and the beautiful pool.
This is non-alcoholic. It's called a PS Green. It's green apple, truffle, maple, thyme, and lime. It's very pretty.
Hi baby, come to Dubai.
We had two more stops on the Arabian Peninsula, Abu Dhabi and Salalah. From the Emirates capital of Abu Dhabi, we drove deep into the desert to the oasis town of Al Ain to visit the 19th century Al Jahili fort. This mud brick fort was originally built to protect the oasis and its date palm groves, and to help maintain peace among the local Bedouin tribes that once occupied the area. Then it was time to move on to another desert adventure, a camel market.
And then that evening, the ship put on a wonderful alfresco dinner on the pool deck. Our final island stop was a brief one on the French protectorate of Mayotte. Once again, we were warmly welcomed. However, we did very little touring other than a brief walk on the island. And then we looked westward with anticipation and excitement for our venture into the continent of Africa.
Alright, okay, so plan for this afternoon. We are going to see if we can try find a cheetah. That's going to be our plan. There was one seen not too far away from here, about 15, 20 minutes away from here. Thank you very much. Right. We need assistance. And the kudus are a little bit bigger, more spiral on the horns, the males, and they're completely brown.
And they're waiting for us.
I don't want to scare them off, so I'm just going to turn off here in case they run. They translated it to white, and it's got nothing to do with the color at all. Yeah, nothing at all. Like it's the wide mouth.
Good view.
How unbelievable is that? If it lies down, it just disappears. It's gone.
Yeah. That's a great shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see him?
Yeah, I see him.
Now you see him.
I am taking pictures here.
Okay, try again. Try another spot. See where it wants to go. Look at that.
Wow, what a beautiful view right there. Look at that.
nice.
Nice.
It's quiet now. I couldn't pick up.
Let's see where he wants to go,
Are
yeah?
we in his way?
Yeah, indeed. There we go.
Good.
Watch it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, did you get that?
I certainly did.
That is amazing.
There we go.
See, look, his trunk is kind of rested there.
Is he thinking?
He's thinking about it. That's very incredible.
Yeah, that's
This is awesome.
This is great.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Although to watch, I mean, watch him push that thing down. That was unreal.
Yeah. It's gonna
And the
push.
sound.
Yeah.
The sound of the tree cracking was
Yeah.
good too.
Watch him leaning up now.
It's gonna push the other one
He
down.
might pull, yeah, might pull some more down. Watch there, he's putting in. Yeah, there we go. Breaking in. Look, he's gonna push it now. Watch him push. There you go. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, he's got it now. There we go.
This is unreal.
There you go. There you go. Yo, that is unreal.
Oh my goodness. I guess it's so strong.
It's gonna start putting his tusk in there. So then he's pushing it up down like that.
Look at his bum going.
There you go.
Trying to get to the roof.
Trying to get to the
Whoa!
How cool
He
is
took the whole tree down. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and what's your position? There's another one.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's awesome.
How cool is that? Another one just came out.
Popped right up.
We saw this one when she was young. And always follows around. No. Tubbs, do you think we're gonna fall in there? Oh, he's moving. He's moving.
Getting up.
Yeah, I see the movement.
Yeah, he's getting up. He's looking at the other Jeep. Yawning.
So I don't wanna.
Yeah, he's
Okay. Slightly anxious.
Oh, he's got quite a harem there.
Yeah. That's how you.
So he's got
That's
to
how
kill
we'll know.
him, yeah.
Yeah, there's an Inyala. Kill Inya.
Is it an official sighting or is it just a peek?
This is a sneak peek.
Peek.
This is
Is there something we can eat?
I'm just taking it all in right now.
But she's buying a gift for herself.
I want a big bottle.
I'm gonna go a little bit more forward so that they can pull in here next to us.
No.
No.
Anything to eat.
Eat.
Go. Welcome to our room.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know how it feels, buddy.
Yes.
Top of the branches. Yeah. Walking there, they're coming out on the left there. They're coming out on the left. They're walking, watching that gap there. Watching that gap. See that gap?
Cindy's got her lined up. There
It's
she
still
is.
pretty special to be able to hear it. Here she comes.
Oh, he's tearing that carcass apart.
Yeah.
There's two of them. One is sitting down.
She's scratching herself.
Stretching.
She's scratching. She's
There's
scratching.
one, I think there's a baby behind her.
Yes. She's getting all those insects.
After being away on safari for 4 days, we returned to the Mariner in Cape Town and found this lovely little animal on our stateroom bed to greet us. We then sailed north to the driest country in sub-Saharan Africa, Namibia. This country derives its name from the Namib Desert, which is the oldest desert in the world. And because of the strong onshore winds, the sand dunes along the coastal desert are the highest in the world. So this intrepid traveler decided to climb one of them.
ventured into the Nabig Park, the fourth largest national park in the world. And living in this desert, we saw one of the oldest plants in the world, the welwitschia. It's believed this plant has existed for about 200 million years, from the time of dinosaurs. Then, that evening, we enjoyed one of Regent's exclusive shore experiences.
From Namibia, we began sailing north along the coast of Africa in the Gulf of Guinea, into an area designated as a high-risk area for piracy. Before entering these waters, we'd taken on board 4 heavily armed former Special Ops military personnel to help defend us in the event of an emergency. Fortunately, we passed through the Gulf of Guinea without incident. But we did spend some time in the region, making 5 ports of call. In each port, the children were cute, curious, and very friendly.
Good going. Obrigado. Obrigado.
We then moved on into safer waters and visited several islands in the Atlantic off of Africa's northwest coast. Sailing north, we came to Spain's Canary Islands. On the island of Tenerife, we visited the Parque Nacional del Teide, the most visited national park in Spain. The park is centered on Mount Teide, which is Spain's highest mountain and the 3rd highest volcano in the world. About 5 kilometers from the summit of Mount Teide is a famous rock formation known as the Finger of God, the Roque Sincado, and a favorite tourist viewpoint. One of the most curious things here is the Teide bugloss, or Tower of Jewels plant, which is endemic to the Canary Islands and can grow up to 10 feet tall.
Moving on, we then visited the island of Lanzarote, an island known for its year-round warm weather, beautiful beaches, and stunning volcanic landscape. We visited Timanfaya National Park and were mesmerized by its otherworldly rocky landscape that was created by multiple volcanic eruptions about 300 years ago. The lava and magma have created a scene straight out of science fiction. And indeed, Hollywood has used this site many times for just that reason.
BC, eruptions green with volcanic excitement.
makes me want to go back to the movies.
Well, instead of that, we decided to go for a camel ride.
By the way, I can get you a great deal on a camel, but only if you act today. In case you're wondering, the average price of a camel is around $1,600. Of course, if you want one of our better models, younger, stronger, higher camel power, well, then you could pay around $2,100. But if you really want the Rolls-Royce of camels, well, we're talking more like $6,500. But hey, we negotiate. We really love to bargain. And just think about it. These babies are really environmentally friendly. No fossil fuel, no hard to recycle batteries. Just feed them some grass, grain, wheats, whatever. Hey, but don't feed them any cruciferous stuff. That's not good for the climate. Yeah, methane, huh? Well, anyway, so save the world. Ditch your car. Buy a camel today. And by the way, it's great for your back too.
And then we moved on to our last port of call on the continent of Africa. We were off on the way to Morocco.
We're off on the road to Morocco. This taxi is tough on the spine.
We docked in the coastal city of Agadir and drove inland to the city of Taraddant, which is known as the grandmother of Marrakesh, because it looks like a smaller version of Marrakesh. Almost the entire town is located inside its walls, and because of that, the city has the feel of a small fortified market town on a caravan route. While we were here, we visited one of the souks of Taraddant, the bustling local market.
Please here.
All sorts of things. Morocco is a country of tolerance. It is a big Jewish community in each separate area.
On the road back to the ship, we saw one of the more curious sights in Morocco, the tree-climbing goats. So why do they do it? Well, simply to find food. Since the dry climate of Morocco doesn't allow for much vegetation to grow on the ground, the goats climb the argan tree to eat the sweet-smelling fruit.
And so, we said goodbye to Africa and set sail for the Mediterranean and the final country we would visit on this world odyssey, Spain. Our first port of call was Motril, a gateway city to the Andalusian city of Granada, known for its beautiful Moorish architecture, but most especially the Alhambra, which we had recently visited in 2021. Our second port was the Costa Blanca city of Alicante, where we visited the very impressively situated Santa Barbara Castle. This imposing medieval fortress was originally built by the Moors in the 9th century and then captured by Castilian forces in the 13th century and named after St. Barbara, on whose feast day the Arab forces were driven from Alicante. From the castle we moved into town, but not to the bullfighting ring, but rather to the very beautiful Esplanada de España that runs parallel to the port of Alicante. This lovely tile walkway has the distinction of being one of the most beautiful promenades in Spain.
And after a short cruise, this brings us to another famous promenade, Las Ramblas, in the capital of Catalonia, the beautiful city of Barcelona. Once again, this was a city we visited 18 months earlier, but we never get enough of Barcelona and its magnificent architectural treasures of the great Antoni Gaudí. And so as we bring our world cruise adventure to a close, we leave you with images of what Marianne and I consider to be Europe's most unique and beautiful cathedral, Gaudí's masterpiece, La Sagrada Familia.